Host Eurydice Roman. That's right. I am un undubbed, unfiltered. Well, not that filtered, but just filtered enough. Um, Today I have a very special guest, and I have here Alex Lora. If you don't know who he is, we're gonna find out about him today. So right now he has a great film. It's in 100, oh my God, 100 film festivals. My God. Did you have time to sleep in between? I don't know how it happened. And he's won over 25 awards for a great film. And we're going to show it later on after the interview, but it's going to be included. Um, so yeah, you got talk about how you got started and how everything happened.
About the short film or about how I started in film?
How you started in film first and how everything has transpired till right now.
Okay, so I mean, I guess I started very young age. I guess, when I was 14, 15 years old, I really liked to watch movies. I was not a great student, to be honest. So I like to paint a lot, and I thought that when I would finish high school, I would go to, the fine arts university to keep
Mhm.
studying fine arts or something like that. But I didn't pass in Spain. The exam to get into a fine arts college is pretty tough. And you spend 2 days there. You have to, make a lot of drawings of, like stuff and bodies, and then you have to come up with a personal project. So I didn't pass it. And the other hobby that I had was, play with a video camera that my father had. We were using mainly to record holidays, but in high school I also was using it to make some, some instead of papers, some kind of work for for some classes.
Mhm.
And that's how I started. I remember also skipping, sometimes skipping class and going to the Filmotheque of the library of the Filmotheque in Barcelona, which
Mhm.
you can just sit there and they have like, well, now probably they have Blu-rays and stuff, but back then they have like VHS. And the lady from the library was kind of teaching me film history, like, oh, have you seen, do you know who Godard is? I was like, no idea, or do you know who
Mhm.
Truffaut is? Or do you know, I don't
Fellini.
know, Rossellini, so she was,
Mm.
and she was giving me, these tapes, and I would watch the movies. And I remember one specifically, which was La Jetée from Chris Marker, that was made out of pictures.
Ah.
And it's a short film, like almost 30 minutes. And I thought that if someone could make a movie with pictures, why not, So that kind of put me into, I want to study film. And
Mhm.
that's how I did. Then I had hiatus because, health issues and the amputation of my arm and everything.
Right.
But still, I was editing on and off, and
Mhm.
trying to make my own short films. And in
Mhm.
2008, the situation was pretty bad in Spain. I guess globally, but there was this economical crisis,
Yes.
and I started looking for grants, and I got a Fulbright grant and moved to United States. And I moved in 2010, and since then I've made a lot of short films. I've made feature documentaries. I wrote a feature narrative that the title is "We Are Living Things," directed by Antonio Civaldi. And then I directed my first feature film, which it's the title is Unicorns, and it
Mhm.
premiered last year.
Ah.
Now the short film I have in two film festivals, which is the one that won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance. The
Mhm.
title is The Masterpiece,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're very happy with that short film.
That's amazing. So, after doing all that work, what has been the biggest challenge recently in terms of, because honestly, for those who don't know, film festivals are very draining. It's like you have to make sure, even if you're a solo production, you have to allot time for submitting the film, receiving, yes or no. Then you have to think about, okay, did I submit it, but can I travel to said place? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Do I have the resources? You know, I have to prepare an EPK, which is an electronic press kit, to make sure that I have something for the movie. You have to have a poster ready, cards, if that's still applicable, like, and you have to be excited and enthusiastic to talk about your film. And for film festival circuits, I will say it is very tough. Um, I've I've worked at film festivals and I've volunteered. So sometimes people are like, "So when are you going to submit a film?" I'm like, no. After seeing how you guys are like Survivor, like I'm just waiting for the tiki torch on the island. I'm like, nah, it's okay. It's like, yeah, I'll get back to you on how that's going to work. Um, so the biggest challenge for you currently with the film.
The bigger challenge right now is to raise funds to do the Oscars campaign.
Mm.
Because one thing is, to raise funds to make the short film and, and you get to have it done, but you sometimes don't think about uh, all the money that comes after the short film is exported, like with the
Mhm.
distribution plan, reaching to film festivals. As you said, sometimes you have to travel. Some festivals have fees, so you have to pay for those. I mean, you can ask you can ask the festival if they are nice enough to waive them, but some of them, they are like, hey, if we waive the fees, we are not going to be able to make the festival, so we cannot. And you have also to be understanding. But yeah, the big challenge now, I think we are in a good position.
Mhm.
The short film has been like in 25 film festivals that are Oscars qualifying,
Oh,
besides the
wow.
other film festivals, because there are some film festivals that are like have like more pedigree, and they are the ones that the Academy use
Yes.
to make like a kind of a filter. So if you win one of those film festivals, you can apply to be considered for an Oscar. But if you don't win any of those, you cannot be
No,
considered.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, now working on that, putting together a PR team, trying to reach academics, at least, of course, we are not going to ask for the vote or anything because that's, you cannot do that basically, but
Mm.
at least to try to let them know that this exists so they can assess, and
Mm.
that's more or less what we are working on now. That's a big challenge.
Hold on. So, we left off about the funding challenge. Nowadays, I think it's easier, somewhat, not great, but funding is still a challenge for independent filmmakers. And have you tried, because there's Kickstarter, there's GoFundMe, there's having a screening of the film. There's so many options to do it, but then it's still the same struggle. Like funding has it, what have you tried funding wise?
Well, the thing here is that it's complicated because when you try to get some funds, people want something in exchange. So usually what they want is a credit, like a producing credit or executive producing credit. And in this case, I'm not, when I'm one of the co-producers, but I'm not the main producer, so I cannot decide how many people we can involve, and the only credit we can offer is the investor credit,
Mhm.
um, it's not very appealing, or as appealing as it could be like a executive producer credit, especially in a short film that won at Sundance and stuff. But still, being involved as an investor in a film that won in Sundance and maybe will make it to, the Oscar shortlist or something, it could also be a
Mhm.
good investment for a person that wants to get closer to the to film, or wants to
Mhm.
to get more connections in the future. But it's not being easy. I mean, it was easier with other projects, that I could really open the
Mhm.
can and say like, hey, if you put 1,000, you can get an associate producer credit or things like that. So that's been a challenge. But still, there are some people that are still interested in helping, and I very appreciate that. And let's see how it goes. We still have time until October, November, and we might also like a Kickstarter campaign to see if we can raise some extra money for the campaigns, the Oscars campaigns, also the Spanish Academy Awards campaign. But yeah, I mean, so far it's just, reaching out people that I know that they are investors or they invested in other films and explaining them the situation to see if they want to collaborate in this film. Also, it helps to make, interviews. So thank you very much, because maybe someone is listening or watching and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to reach out to Alex because I would like to be part of the film somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this also happened with another interview. So I'm happy to do that also.
Oh no, absolutely, of course. So just in case, this will be on TV in September. So just letting you know that.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's still on time, guys, if you see
There's
this.
still it's still on time. There's still hope. There's still hope. What was I gonna ask? So, all right. So the funding, so this, okay. Genre-wise, what's the most appealing genre to you to do a film in?
Well, usually I make drama and something that has a social commentary. That's what I've been basically
Mhm,
doing. That does not mean that I only want to focus in this for the future. I also like psychological thrillers. Those are things that I like to watch, or dystopic movies I like to watch as well. Sci-fi, it's also something that I enjoy watching.
mhm,
So I don't know what future holds, but right now I think it kind of made sense because I made these short films and I started to make documentaries, and documentaries the most of the times have a social commentary.
mhm,
And when I transition back to the fiction, I think that was still there. And I think the masterpiece is the first one that has a social commentary, but at the same time, um, the tone leans towards suspense or psychological thriller. So maybe that would help to transition, but yeah, mainly drama with social commentary.
hmm. Interesting. So you wouldn't do comedy.
I think it's very difficult to do comedy. You have to be very good. I think it's one of the most difficult things to do. So I don't think I am good enough to do comedy. Maybe in the future, I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't like knock it off completely. Here's the thing. See, I like drama. I like to write dramatically, but
Mhm.
I like to stick in like sarcasm in there.
Right.
It's just like I cannot be that serious. Like
Yeah, yeah.
for it's tough. It's really tough. And because the thing is that if I write dramatically enough, or I think about doing the drama, I'm just like, it's like somebody's got to crack a smile at some point. It just can't be like, el teatro, Maria, Fernando, el mundo, el que sé yo qué. It
Right,
just
right,
can't
right.
be all that bad. It's like you got to have a little silver lining. And I think that's what doing the narrative here, or doing the Hollywood classic, the classic Hollywood narrative has taught me. Never give up hope. It's not that bad. Stuff can turn around. I don't know if it's like optimism at its highest, but then when you look at international film from España or from Brazil or from like parts of Chile, Argentina, when you see that, you're like, oh my God. It's like not, it's like, it makes you think of your American optimism. I have my adopted American optimism. And I'm just like, yeah, nah, stuff was not going to get better for Pedro. No, no, sorry. Oh,
Yeah, that makes
you
sense.
want, I can pause for a moment.
I mean, I agree to put some elements there, to
Mhm,
sometimes to help with the tension, like a funny thing here or there. But yeah,
mhm,
making comedy,
mhm.
not for me yet.
Well, let's see. Um, there's a couple genres that I wouldn't like want to do. I don't like disaster movies. Like, oh my God, the comet is coming, the volcano's erupting, the earthquake. Because I just it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry to say this, but at some point, stuff like this may happen. You never know. Like if you live on an island somewhere, in the middle of the ocean, I'm sure the volcano can erupt at some point. How do you think islands were made? Hello, volcanic eruptions. Or like with just checking here, I don't know. Okay. Sorry. So, before the minor interruption. So my thing is that, which is very interesting with everything how it goes. Um, yeah, so like I said, disaster genre is not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really not my thing. War movies, not my thing. I'm sorry. That's a lot of work. So like I've seen Black Hawk Down. Do you know the reason why I saw Black Hawk Down? Because the professor for film history was like, "Oh, you have to watch Black Hawk Down." I'm like, why? Okay. It's a bunch of I said, I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" So I watched Black Hawk Down because of that. But most of the time I usually avoid war movies completely. I think I saw the Angelina Jolie movie that she did about some guy that survived the war. Que sé cuánto. That's about it. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna say this. There's certain genres that would compel people more to give you for funding than others. Have you experienced that? Like there's certain genres that go like, yeah, you could. But there's some genres that you really gotta give them the elevator pitch for them to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe. Sure, I'll invest. Has that happened to you?
I mean, to me, it has not happened, but it's something that yeah, other friends experience. Usually, when they write like horror movies or thrillers, they
Hmm.
are easier to sell than drama.
Yes.
Um, it seems that, that's what the TVs and platforms are looking for, so they are more biased to invest on that, at least in Spain.
Hmm.
But no, I mean, I don't write horror, so I don't know. Maybe if I would write a horror movie, I would sell it. But on the other hand, I'm also interested to do things that I like to do, I mean,
Yeah.
I understand it's a profession, but on the other hand, it's a lot of work, like as you said, if
Yeah.
you're gonna spend like 2, 3 years of your life, preparing a movie, writing it, rewriting it, trying to fund it, then preparing everything, the pre-production, finding the cast, shooting it, editing it.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that either you like it and love it, or the other scenario can be that you get a lot of money to do that. For instance, they say
Yeah.
like, okay, you have to direct this.
Hmm.
And then if you don't totally love it, but it's well paid, then maybe. But if it's something that I'm gonna try to sell or, or raise
Hmm.
funds or put together a team,
Right.
I have to love it.
True. There's people do get stuck doing that. Like, I don't like what I'm doing, but it makes me money, so I'm
Yeah,
good at it, but it's not my passion project.
right.
Sometimes it's very hard once you've learned to like master something and you're good at it and it produces to just be like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna switch it up. What? No, but you've been doing it for 5 to 7 years consistently. Like you've been having steady money due to that.
Right,
Why the
right.
change now? Like people are gonna think, oh my God, este loco, esta loca. Oh my God. You're like, no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I completely agree. I mean, I never say never, who knows.
no, of course. It can
But
happen to all of us.
yeah, but by the moment, I'm just trying to do what I would like to do. Yeah, let's see.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. So, last but not certainly the least, after this film, will you take a break or will you, until you reach that goal, will you stop doing it?
No, I'm not gonna stop. I mean, it's something that I really like to do. This film it's already done, I'm trying to help
Mhm.
um, to accompany the film, through these film festivals. Then in
Mhm.
February, there will be the time of the of the national awards and the Spanish ones, the Catalan ones. Let's see what happens with the Oscars. We'll see if we don't get shortlisted and we don't get nominee. I think the short film has been already, successful and overpassed our expectations. I didn't think that I was gonna get selected in Sundance again. I'm never even dream about winning the grand jury prize at Sundance. So the short film, if even if it does not get selected in any other film festival and does not make it to the shortlist or to the nomination, I'll be fine, And and I'm working on next projects to see, if we can have another movie shot anytime soon, maybe next year. So, working on shopping around the scripts that I have written, meeting with production companies. So now it's the time to see if any of the new projects starts moving, Also using a little bit the energy of the short film, the momentum, trying to use the momentum, to see if we can make another project happen. But I don't know. I don't know yet. There are some things here and there. Some of them I cannot talk, but let's see what happens,
Yeah.
Just working on that.
No, it's very true. Well, if you like to plug your film, by all means, go ahead.
This one I cannot show it, but I can send you another link that you can show because this one it's already in the festival run, and the thing is that if you put it on internet, it's not even eligible for the Oscars and this stuff anymore. So
Correct.
we have to keep it, secretly
Under wraps.
until March, April. Once the run is over. Let's see also, we also, of course, have a sales agent that distributes because at the end, with other short films, it depends on the project. I've made short films that I was very happy to put them online, and other ones, that's the thing. Once the short film starts getting successful, sales agents and distributors want to kind of protect it and keep it because they know, on the other hand, that they can make some revenue out of it.
Of course.
But if the short film has gone to 5, 10 film festivals and stuff, then basically, I mean, I have a bunch of short films online. So
Listen, whatever you like to show, it's perfectly fine. You're
perfect.
welcome to show. That's not a problem.
So
We're gonna
I
add
will
this
share
on
with you guys
buddy.
the first short film that I had in Sundance that was shot actually in Union Square. It's called Odysseus Gambit. And I really love it because it's one of the first things that I shot in New York, and I have a lot of esteem. It's I think it's 12 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
And
We're not gonna
yeah.
show the FYI, full disclosure, we're not showing the full 12 minutes. We're just gonna show you a trailer, everybody.
Okay. Sorry.
So
Okay.
just letting you guys know. Because thank you to BronxNet and MNN, Manhattan Neighborhood Network. They do have channels if you do want to submit your own film and stuff like that. I know shameless plug to the two channels. Thank you so much for broadcasting my show. For BronxNet, it's been 3 years since they've been broadcasting my show. And then also for Manhattan Neighborhood Network, it's been 2 years. So yeah. Well,
That's
shameless plug to you guys. All right. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, prayers, light candles. I said, look, like I said,
Yeah.
but
Brujería.
algo, something. I don't know. Hold on one second though. Okay.